JD Vance also has a non-white wife, an Indian wife, and a kid named Vivek. All his kids have Indian names. So it's like, what exactly are we getting here? And that's not a dig at him just because I'm a racist or something. But it's like, who is this guy really? Do we really expect that the guy who has an Indian wife and named their kid Vivek is going to support white identity?
Okay, I love that he threw in, this isn't an attack just because I'm a racist. He has it as a given that he is a racist, but he's attacking JD Vance and his family for more than just that. And he defined it just racism, that's all it was. It does come down to the racism because that's what it is. And as JD Vance was elevated to the VP nominee, a lot of people on the right discovered for the first time that he has a family and they exist, but they're not the sort of people that some of them would prefer that he would be. Here is a picture of JD Vance and his family. Now, I can give you a lot of reasons that I think JD Vance would be a terrible VP, would be an absolutely worse president. You might even define as a reprehensible human being. But there's nothing in that photo that is bad in any way. He has a family. They seem to love each other. He's been with his wife for 10 years. And if you are some sort of like crazy right-wing identitarian or whatever, like one of the things you probably love about JD Vance is how he's a Christian nationalist. He says and she says that it's due to her advocacy for him to explore his Christian heritage more. Like he has that because of her, the one that you're considering some sort of like race traitor to the side. So it's such a weird self-destructive attack to try to take down JD Vance's family of all things.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
Here is a little bit more of his attempt to do just that.
White people are being systematically replaced in America and Europe through immigration and to a much lesser extent due to intermarrying. This guy has a non-white wife and a kid named Vivek. This guy is going to be a defender of white identity? I don't think so. This guy's going to defend American identity? If he does, it's going to be no better than any of these other civic nationalists like Vivek Ramaswamy. How else could you countenance American identity if you have a mixed up family like that?
Very bizarre pronunciation of that word aside. Hey, what do you know? He was able to fit in an attack against another Indian American, Vivek Ramaswamy. Again, I disagree with Vivek Ramaswamy in a lot of different ways. The national origin of his ancestors has nothing to do with it, literally nothing to do with it. By the way, he said not only would he not be able to defend or advocate for white identity, but not even American identity. His wife is an American citizen. Now, is she an American citizen in the way that they want to be legal? Perhaps not. That does cause a little bit of trouble with Project 2025. I mean, they want to get rid of birthright citizenship and all that. But that said, she's a freaking American. That's who she is and what she is. Now, I want to be very clear. We have other online trolls and randos and extremists and everything that are echoing these, and they've been going around for the last day or two. This is not like official RNC chatter or anything like that. He's not speaking, thankfully. They realize that they have to present a less insane version of the GOP. So Nick Fuentes is not at the RNC, at least as far as I've seen, he's not gonna be here. But that said, this is what is bubbling up on the right on social media. And Sharon, I would love your thoughts.
You know, I want to thank you for putting up the family picture of JD Vance because I think it's important. I think it's important what you just went and chronicled there. It made me so sad. I actually felt sorry for JD Vance and his wife. And then I remembered and got angry because I saw two beautiful children there, okay? And this is the party that JD Vance wants to take over. I mean, let's be very clear. He wants to eventually be the leader of the free world and take over as well the Republican Party. But this kind of sick, pathetic, bottom of the barrel type of venom and racism. Thank you for at least saying it's not just because I'm a racist. Of course I'm that, but I have real concerns about America. The argument doesn't even fit. You know, if you want to be evil, there's a way to kind of do it so that everything lines up and the math is mathing. She's a citizen, like you said. This is so sick. But again, Vivek, JD, Nikki, I don't know why you would leave this kind of legacy or join this kind of hatred. Because you can say that there's hatred in this party when your children are going to grow up and see this. What does that say? Come on.
Well, you say rhetorically you don't know why, but you do kind of know. I have a couple of hints. It's green and it looks great when you have a stack of it with a rubber band tied around it. That's why I think that they would be willing to sign on to this. But I'm going to give you some more. Some of these are characters that we've talked about before. Some aren't. Tweets like this. It's just a picture of JD Vance and his wife. And the caption is, JD Vance's wife is Indian, by the way. To which Randy Trable says, she has more European physiognomy. I'm not even familiar with that word because I'm not an insane race scientist or whatever. Her bloodline is probably a mix of early Macedonian invasions. And if I am understanding the racism here, okay, not ideal, but there was some colonization. So that makes it a little bit more acceptable. It seems like that's what they're saying. Stu Peters, literal Nazi that we've talked about before on the show, says, he talks about the family and then says, he's not one of us. Again, he is in what appears to be a loving long-term marriage that produced 3 children. As the party says that not enough people are getting married, not enough people are having enough kids. He did that. And they're saying, oh, no, you did it the wrong way. Shouldn't have done that. You're starting to see some of the reason why people don't like this political movement. But anyway, like again, it is so aside from the actual reasons to oppose him as an individual or a politician. It's predictable but sickening. By the way, like making these sorts of statements, like saying, like literally like saying there should not be race mixing, the term that they use or whatever. And bear in mind, I am in a mixed race marriage. I don't understand how anyone could have any kind of problem with that. It has literally nothing to do with anything. Look at polls of what the American people thought about that up until not too many years ago. It wasn't that rare, even within the last 20 years. And I don't think most people would have been comfortable talking about it, posting comments online or whatever. This is a reminder that some people are actually more emboldened to give these sorts of opinions as they've become more rare. But Sharon, any final thoughts before we move on?
Well, and what they're really saying in these troll-like comments is that, no, we don't like mixed race and everything, but at least she's less offensive because she appears to have some, colonizer blood running through her veins. And it's sick. The best thing I heard you say was that Americans didn't freely speak out loud about it. They're doing so now. There's too many who are doing so now.
Yeah. And by the way, everyone, you need to prepare yourself because she is going to be delivering an address to the RNC today. Reports seem to indicate that she is not particularly interested in being like a big public part of politics and all that. But we'll evaluate her speech based on what she says, but it will almost certainly come with strike back online. They're going to be even more enraged to see her speaking at an event like this. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?